plus y into unit vector I. Then also you will write the magnitude vector. Resultant magnitude is equal to under root x square plus y square. Am I correct? Suppose that I write a vector. Vector r is equal to 5i plus 3j. 5i plus 3j. What is 5i? This is equal to vector x. What is 3j? This is equal to vector y. Then what is the magnitude of vector r? Magnitude of vector r is equal to root of 5 square plus 3 square. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Am I correct? Suppose you have fixed a cow in a plain surface, in a plain grazing field, right? You are standing in the place where the hook is put in to the ground, right? One is x-axis, other is the y-axis, right? And the length of the rope is what is called the position vector of that cow. The maximum length of the rope is called the position vector of the cow, right? The cow is in the field bound by the two axes, x-axis and y-axis. In the plain, the cow is grazing, right? You are standing in the position where the hook is inserted into the ground, right? Right? Okay. Then what is the length of the rope? Length of the rope is the position vector. Position vector is, in this case, is a two-dimensional vector, right? Suppose the position vector r of a cow, which is fixed at a point in the ground, is given by vector r is equal to 5i plus 3j. 5i plus 3j, because that position vector is a two-dimensional vector, right? Then it must have two components. The vector r is equal to 5i plus 3j, vector x plus vector y. In this case, vector x is equal to 5i and vector is equal to 3j. Then what is the length of the rope? Length of the rope is the length of the magnitude of the position vector. Magnitude of the position vector r is equal to right? Magnitude means modulus vector r is equal root of 5 square plus 3 square. When you do this, you will get a value and you will write at that many meters you will write. So this is what is called a resolution vector. One more thing I want to tell you is this thing. Any vector, whenever you see any vector that is lying in a plane must have two components. Suppose this is a vector, this is acceleration vector. This is acceleration vector. Acceleration vector also can have in two dimension must have two components. See, this is one component that must be perpendicular, always remember. And other one is perpendicular. This is x component and this is y component. What's x component of a? Suppose this is making angle theta, then this will be equal to a cos theta. You will write the component of a along the x-axis is equal to a cos theta. Why? Because this x component is making angle theta. Therefore, this must be naturally always equal to a cos theta. What is the other component? This angle is equal to 90 minus theta. Therefore, this component is equal to a cos 90 minus theta. That is a cos 90 minus theta. A cos 90 minus theta is equal to a sin theta. So any vector can have two components in two dimensions. One component that makes an angle theta will be always equal to a cosine component of that. Other will be sine component of the same vector A, right? So our vector is vector A. So vector A. Or another case, suppose velocity. Suppose it is velocity. A velocity is acting along this direction. One component is horizontal, other component is vertical. Am I correct? Suppose the horizontal component makes an angle theta. This is velocity vector. Velocity, this two-dimensional velocity vector can be resolved into two components. Any vector in two dimensions must have two components. This component makes an angle theta will be always b cos theta. Other will be b sin theta. Which one must be v cos the cos theta component, which must be sin theta component? That is very important to see. With the original vector, that component which makes an angle theta will be always cos theta. Other will be perpendicular because they are orthogonal. Orthogonal is also called as a perpendicular. A perpendicular is also called as rectangular, right? And all these are commonly called as orthogonal components. So many things I said today. So this is about three-dimensional vectors. So two-dimensional vectors. In three-dimensional also, in three-dimensional the vector must have three components in all. So that also I am going to draw here and completing that much, right? Suppose I am drawing a three-dimensional vector here, right? That is this. A three-dimensional vector I am going to draw. Okay. So this is a cube, right? Yeah. This is a cube. So this point is O. This point is P. OP is a vector. This one OP is a vector. Vector R I can say. OP is a vector. This is three-dimensional. Why? Because it is bound by three axes. One is x-axis, other is y-axis, and this is z-axis. Z-axis, right? R is bound by three axes. Therefore, vector R must have three components in R. So in this case, I can write vector R is equal to vector x plus vector y plus vector z also I can write, right? That means the component of vector along the x-axis is vector x. The component of R along the y-axis is vector y, and the component of vector z, component of vector R along the z-axis is equal to vector z. I can write, very correct. The same thing can be written as equally. You know the unit vectors along x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, I, j, k. The same thing can be written as equal to a magnitude into vector I plus y into j capital plus z into k capital also I can. This is the three components of a three-dimensional vector. Here we are not we are not explaining in terms of cosine and sin theta condition is not here. Here only vector x plus vector y plus vector z. A three-dimensional vector must have three components, and a two-dimensional vector must have two components. There, one component is cos theta component, other component is sin theta component. In this case, there is no cos theta, sin theta, that condition is not coming. Am I correct? So in this case, how can we calculate the magnitude of the vector R? Oh, that is very simple. That is vector R under modulus is equal to same thing, square root of x square plus y square plus z square we can write. So this is a very, very important thing. Am I correct? Suppose a small little boy is flying a kite in a ground, right? Kite is at a very high position, right? And where you are standing in and controlling the height, that position is called the origin, right? One hand you stretch, that is x-axis. Other hand you stretch at 90 degree, that is y-axis. The head goes the z-axis, right? And the position of the kite, that vector is called a position vector. If I write the position vector of a kite is given by vector R is equal to 6i plus 7j plus 7j plus zk, 10k. This is the position vector of the kite above the ground, because the kite is flying in the space. In the space, any vector must have three components. One is x-axis, other is y-axis, other is z-axis. That means the position of the kite has some distance along the x-axis, and some distance along the y-axis, and also some distance along the z-axis. That is why that position vector must have three components. Is given by xi plus yj plus z. In the given vector, what is xi? Xi is equal to 6i. What is yj? Yj is equal to 7j. What is zk? That is equal to 10k. Right? Then what is the length of the thread used by the boy flying the kite? Is given by length is only the that is vector R. Modulus vector R is equal to, you will write square root of 6 square plus 7 square plus 10 square meter, you will write. So this is what is called component of two vectors. So in two-dimensional, a vector can have two components, and in three-dimension, a vector can have three components. How in two dimension we'll resolve the two components as one is cos theta component, other is the what is called sin theta component. In three dimension, the three components also we have, that is xi plus yj plus zk, or vector x plus vector, both are same only. So this is about the topic today about, and tomorrow I will come with today we have discussed what? Yeah, addition and also splitting of two vectors. Addition we have done earlier. Then Today we have studied about splitting of vectors. What's it? Taking the components of the two vectors. Both these things we have seen. Tomorrow we will come with multiplication of vectors. That also very, very important. So till then, thank you very much.